Tony's crazy, right? They come out here from the East Coast, they gotta like put me together like a cheap watch. You know what I'm saying? I'm a used car dealer, all right? Minus the plaid outfit and the polyester and everything. He's from the East Coast. They think they know
what's
everything.
happening, Mark? What's going on?
Oh, do you know anything about color correction on these?
No, I'm not up on that.
I was talking to them. I'll have to work with you guys in a little bit, all right? So, yeah, they were just needing some help on the color correction because I guess we're taking it in at 422 and it's supposed to be 421 for... My name is Mark Worman and I own Graveyard Carz. I restore classic Chrysler muscle cars back to the way they were on the day they were built. I do this because I love the cars and I have a passion to see these cars on the road for as long as humanly possible.
I'm Tony DaGostino from Tony's Mopar Parts. I've been supplying Mopar restoration parts to the hobby for the past 30 years. The parts I sell get the cars restored and keep them on the road where they belong.
So I can do work on them and stuff like that and make money. Dodge introduced the Super B on the Coronet body in 1968. It was pretty bland and not a lot of styling cues. By 1970, it was over the top. Still today, one of the most talked about designs in automotive history. This 1970 Super B is a 383 Magnum, white interior, purple body, white top, and a white C-stripe.
In 1968, Plymouth introduced the Roadrunner. By 1969, it was Car of the Year.
MotorTrends.
By 1971, second generation body style came around, which
Coke
is what
bottle.
we have here. 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner 383.
Automatic on the column bench seat car, tawny gold. You can just say it how it is, you don't have to.
Made in Windsor, Ontario.
In 2008, Dodge reintroduced the Challenger and took the retro styling world by storm. However, it all started 38 years earlier with the 1970 model. This is a 70 Challenger RT 440 automatic in factory FC7 Plum Crazy Purple.
This time on Graveyard Carz, the East Coast master of Mopar, Tony DaGostino, is here to help Mark document and decide the fate of 3 specimens of Mopar muscle. A 1970 Super B 383 Magnum, a 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner 383, and a 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 440 Magnum. The fate of these 3 cars lies in the hands of Mark and Tony. Are they worthy of a Graveyard Carz restoration? Or are they too far gone? And will Tony's no-nonsense approach clash with Mark's Dreammaker mentality? Stay tuned and find out on this episode of Graveyard Carz.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
It has been established that the buried dead are coming back to life.
I'm Mark Worman, and together we bring dead muscle cars back to life, to exactly the way they were on the day they were born. How you doing, big guy?
Good to see you,
man.
Mark.
Yeah,
Hey,
good
buddy.
to see you. Well,
This is my wife, Cindy.
Yeah, we do hugs. Hi, Cindy. It's nice to meet you face to face.
You too.
You're
Finally.
very beautiful today.
Thank you, so do you.
Yeah. You know, the generosity
Beautiful.
of women never ceases to amaze me.
Came out to look at some cars with Mark, go over some stuff, and Cindy's never been here before, and she's here too.
It's amazing. It's amazing. All these cars, it's just incredible. I'm just speechless.
What's he do when he gets home? Straighten Mark out on a couple of issues he had. You know, he's doing okay. Is it that horse crap?
A little bit of both here and there, but it's all in good fun.
Look at this lot. Look at this
Amazing.
lot.
A lot of new faces,
There's just so many, like, diamonds in the rut there, aren't there?
a lot of potential here.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the monochromatic rubber bumper code? I forget.
22?
822, yes, sir. 822 got you the rubber bumpers and the color keyed mirrors.
Right.
And it's FE5, only available on FE5, right?
You got the red bubble.
Would you if you'd have had a shaker?
Yes.
I call it the bro talk a little bit back and forth as far as, you know, the minds with numbers and things like that. And
Well, what if the car was an FE5 and it wasn't a rubber bumper car? Would it have been the Argent as far as you know?
Yes.
I think so too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I think they're actually related.
That guy bought that brand new. That's a real V code.
They both know so much. And it's interesting to hear the different viewpoints
You can't go wrong on a Barracuda.
Oh God,
convertible.
E-body convertible is great. Barracuda's even better than Challenger.
But in the end, they're pretty much both right. So it's, like I said, they're both.
I'm right more than Marcus.
Most of the time. Not all, but most. I'll give you credit most.
The little 1970 Super B, neat little car. 3.3 Magnum. It's the original engine. It's the original transmission. Now I haven't personally verified it, but the owners that sent it out here to have it restored have, okay? The argument, the discussion is, what would Big Tony do? You know, I kind of like to get the feedback from people. I respect Tony a lot. Anything jump out to you on that engine? I thought that was a pretty darn complete original setup under there. It's a little crusty, it's a little rusty, but...
It's a very original car under the hood. I mean, there's some...
car was built in April.
April 2nd, day after Fool's Day.
Oh, yeah. Now that reminds me, I do got a question for you, because we both have our own little ways of date coding it. Sometimes here's what happens is you got a car that's missing the fender tag. A fender tag, or in 70 on up, the door will tell you roughly when the car was made or scheduled to be made.
Scheduled production date.
But if that tag was gone, how would you know if you wanted to duplicate your fender tag, duplicate your door, how would you do it?
How would you figure out the date?
Right.
You have to read the car. By reading the car, I mean, almost you would be amazed at how many things are date coded. The K-frame is date coded. The radiator straps are date coded. The wiper motor you just mentioned date coded. The exhaust manifolds. The engine assembly date is on the engine. The voltage regulator, if it was the original, this one's not. But there's hoses. One of the AC hoses on the AC heater hose has a date on it. The inside of the door panels, you take them off on the B-body,
B-bodies.
and it's stamped with the date. There's many things that you can look for a date, and you're looking for the latest date
Right.
that you can find that wasn't a replacement part,
Right.
that you deem to be original, and you can get a ballpark on that. You're not going to get it to the day, but you're going to get pretty close. Parts were in bins on the assembly line that were
Right.
grabbed by the assembly line workers and put on. And if sometimes a new supply of parts came in, stock wasn't rotated. It's not milk. It doesn't go bad.
Right.
So
It could sit on that shelf until it goes on the
that
car.
could get buried.
Yeah.
That's why you'll find a later date on a later, on a car,
I see.
and this one will
There
show
could
up
be
on
20
a
of
car.
them in the bin, and they keep grabbing off the top. That one on the bottom keeps sitting down there.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why you can't just use one item. You got to find half a dozen items or more. The control arms are dated. The
Yep,
lower
they
control arms are
The
dated.
K-member is dated also.
Right.
And those are
I
dates.
mentioned that already, though.
You said K-frame? Oh, you did? I didn't hear you say that.
It happens.
Are you sure? Okay, cool breeze. You know so much. Why don't you get into this right here then? You could take the sequence number and you could start matching known cars to the sequence number.
Right.
And it's not perfect, but
No.
it could get a lot closer than a wiper motor could. So anyway, that's cool stuff that you got to know if you're working on these things. But the overall condition of the car is rough.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It's very, very rough. It's got a lot of rust in it.
Not abused, but had a bad
Parked.
Right.
The worst kiss of death in the world is parking a car. People don't understand that. They think going out and hot rodding it and burning out and sliding around. That's great. That keeps the car moving.
All right.
You park them underneath a tree, you set them out in the barn and let the barn collapse on them. Like that's what happened with this one. They rot and they fall apart.
I've said it before. I understand why people keep cars.
Yeah.
Because they have future plans for it or it's sentimental. But if they're not keeping it in good storage, they're ruining the car.
They're ruining the car.
So anybody that's out there that has a car stored, get it.
I agree.
Save it in a good place.
So the real question then at that point is, you know what the end value of this car is. You know about what it costs to have Graveyard Carz restore one. Let's take a look at the car, the condition of it, inventory it mentally as quickly as you can, and I want a gut level response from you as to whether you make that investment in this car or if you sell this car. We've got the original sheet metal inside it, but it's rotten. Got the original doors, but they're rotten. The floors are rotten. The dash assembly is intact and we have a dash VIN. That's good. Cowl side panels, rotten. Rockers, rotten. Frame rails, rotten. Upper control arms are there, and they probably have a great date code on them, but by the time you sandblast them down, they're going to be a Lay's potato chip.
The uppers aren't dated, the lowers are.
The lowers are,
Right.
yeah, with the stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't try to.
The rivet.
See, he's always.
Stud, rivet.
Doesn't matter, right? Okay, go ahead.
They need to know.
Oh, yeah, please.
Here's a date code on
do, please.
the receiver dryer,
Receiver dryer.
which is 0340. That's the 34th day of 70.
So see, a lot of these components are in that range. 54th day of 70, 34th day of 70.
Right. Which, in this case, we do know the scheduled production date is April 2nd.
We do,
So
yep.
we're going back now to parts in February that we seem to be finding on a car that was scheduled to be built
Right.
the first week of April.
Right.
And
So that's 2 months. That's a good 2 full months.
another thing that's funny, being that this is so early in the month with the SPD, the 402, you know, April
Scheduled
2nd,
production date, SPD.
April 2nd, it's not uncommon to find a door sticker with a 370 date on it,
Because it
meaning
could
March.
be right on the cusp of the month
Yes.
falling over. But one day, well, where is the original door? It's probably in there.
I mean, you're not going to find that on a car that's scheduled April 15th, you know, in the middle of the month. But at the very beginning or the very end of the month, it's not uncommon to find a door sticker that jumps ahead or falls behind.
This one's 3 of 70.
What'd I tell you? What'd I
Oh,
tell you?
Tony DaGostino! Trying to be the man. I mean, it is the man. Okay, we've looked at the car, we've inventoried it, you've given your opinion. You were wrong on a couple of things I pointed out to you. Do you restore this car? Do you not restore this car? What do? Stall and you kick her guts in? Say, too bad you lose your car? Think about that. All right, let's take a look at a 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner built in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
That's an R code without being a Hemi.
And I know it's nothing to write home about, it's a tawny gold car.
Right.
But you know how we talk about phone books?
When they were back there talking about the Roadrunner, I was going off looking at the Challenger and
Well, we
about
lost
this,
you, didn't we?
Yeah,
You're like my employee, you see something shiny.
yeah.
Oh, you're-
1970, I love us.
It's the one thing that one thing I know that attracted to this.
Purple,
Right.
purple, purple, purple.
It's purple.
This is a cool car, though. This is a neat car. I don't think it's a multi-billion-dollar car, but it's sure a neat car.
So I know the Challenger could be a nice, beautiful car when it's done just like the Superbird was when you got that done. And
No, the Superbird wasn't done.
well, you got done by getting rid of it. Done.
And it's a 440
pretty
automatic on the column, kind of unusual.
Oh yeah. I've heard them called cripple sticks. You know.
That, my friend, is socially unacceptable.
I didn't say. I said I've heard them call them that.
Handy sticks.
Yeah, a few months ago I got rid of the Superbird. Wasn't planned. It just sort of happened.
Right, it did just happen because I didn't even know about it.
So she liked that car. You like driving the car.
That was honestly the best car. I actually really enjoyed that car so much.
But the ironic thing about selling that car, I didn't notice until the day I pulled the paperwork out of the envelope to give it to my friend that bought the car. I sold it on the exact day that I had bought it, but 16 years later. What options are on the car?
Let's see. Holy moly. I didn't pay a whole lot of attention to it. 440 automatic air conditioning.
Air conditioning.
I would love to have a car like that. I think anybody would like to have a car that is complete. It catches their eye, it's their color, it's their whatever, you're drawn to that vehicle. It's absolutely amazing to see different vehicles at different stages, but this one seems to be more complete, and I kind of, like I said, focus more on that one, but I kind of like that one a lot.
And you can see how it looks now and envision how it'll look when it's done.
Oh, beautiful. It'll definitely be beautiful when it's done.
Automatic on the column, no 6-way seat, striped elite car.
whoa.
I think it has a 6-way seat.
This one does? I didn't check. What's the alphanumeric code for it? C56
I don't know the code.
or something like that? Now, how did you know that by looking through the windshield? You're
You can see the two knobs.
through the windshield? What are you, the amazing Kreskin?
It's also the seat sitting higher.
You stalking me?
And I see speakers. It's got front and rear
Oh, right there.
speakers.
Come on, man.
Wow.
He's a devil.
Look at
How could you see that's a 6-way seat through the windshield? I bought the car and I don't even remember.
Wow, this is pretty solid here, hon. That's cool.
But yeah, that's cool. I wanted to talk about this is purple. This purple. This purple.
He's really your brother, isn't he, hon? He's really your brother. You know,
I
tell
love
me.
Mark. Mark and I we made an instant connection. I reached out to him 4 years ago, and he already knew me, had been bought parts from me. I hadn't even realized it. So we've known each other, for a long time, but we really got to know each other, a few years back, and we just hit it off. We help each other a lot. I'm happy. I help him a lot with the cars, with parts. I'm happy to do that. I help him with great restorations, and sometimes help him with some technical advice, which I'm happy to do. It's hard to know everything, and with me being parts, I just know what part fits what car or what goes where, and sometimes they get cars in that are incomplete and they need help like that. But Mark's a great guy. He's great to work with. If we lived closer, I guess we'd probably get in trouble. but we're on the opposite ends of the country, so we just do it a couple times a year.
It's nice to see you guys go back and battle on the minds and the numbers, and it's incredible to see how much knowledge these guys have, both of them. But I swear you guys are related. I still think you guys are related. You're always surprising me, so that wouldn't surprise me if you said, "Oh, by the way, we are really related."
Mark's already called me. You're a brother from another mother.
There you go. There you go. So it's Mark.
Next car up that we want to talk about is our 1971 Roadrunner. This is a 383 column shift automatic. It was built in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. This is one of the used cars that I bought, all right, along with the car next to us and several others. I told you I want to do the used car lot.
Right.
All right.
What were you calling that?
What?
The used car lot.
Graveyard Motors.
Graveyard Motors.
Graveyard
okay.
Motors. That's right. That's right. This is part of the inventory for Graveyard Motors. It came out of the Midwest. The question is, Tony DaGostino, Mark Worman, make a decision. Does this car get a Graveyard Cars restoration? Number one. And if not, what do we do with the car? All right.
Okay,
383 automatic numbers matching. That's the question. Let's look it over.
Okay.
All right.
Pop the hood.
Pretty darn original stuff. Okay. Looks like a set of Mr. Gasket chrome valve covers got stuck on it at some point.
That's okay.
Oh, you're making these stoves, by the way. I want to point that out.
And
that's the heat riser stove.
And the manifolds will be coming out soon too.
You're doing the manifolds.
I'm doing a big, 7071 big block exhaust
One
manifolds.
of the hardest things in the world to find anymore. It's not. You're just paying royalty for it. And a lot of times they're not. Are you doing several date codes or one or two?
Yeah, doing a few date codes.
Good for you.
And they won't be pitted. The new heat risers.
Good for you.
They'll be on.
All right, this has the original distributor, which has the retarding mechanism in it.
Right.
What's the purpose of the retarding mechanism? This is stuff Tony knows because he knows parts. He's obsessed with parts. He's insane about parts. What's the reason for the retarding thing?
1970, Chrysler started succumbing to the emissions deal. Okay. And so one way how to decrease your emissions upon idle is to retard the timing.
Okay.
But the car doesn't run as good when it's retarded.
Right.
So what this solenoid does, on idle, it would retard the timing to fool the sniffers so they had a lower emissions.
Gotcha.
But as soon as you came off idle, it would go back to regular vacuum advance. And that's what
and those are hard to
it's
find.
like a smog, if you think of what a smog pump did, not that Chrysler's had them this year,
right?
But a smog pump only pumps air into the exhaust to make the air coming out not as bad, but it's not really reducing
emissions. They're just trying to dilute it.
Right, you're diluting it, but it's the same amount.
Yeah. Looking at the overall condition, though, and we'll get doing that in a minute, you can see this car's got an extensive amount of rust. You can also see it's as pure as the driven snow. This is a very original car. This car is an answering machine for anybody putting together a 71 Roadrunner. What's really weird about that radiator right there? Take a good look at it.
Oh yeah, it's a 26-inch radiator, and it's obviously belongs
3443,959.
And that's the same number used on a Hemi in a 6-pack with a 26-inch.
And 71 with 26-inch extra heavy cooling, but you could have got a 446 pack in 71 with a 22-inch.
If it was an automatic.
If it was an automatic, I had a 71 Charger that was that way. Go ahead.
But the this is a real 26-inch radiator car, not somebody just bolted in, because the opening in the radiator support is a wide opening. But it's
what's the method behind it?
This is a 383 automatic.
383 automatic, obviously no AC.
Right. And
could it have something to do with Windsor, Ontario? I mean, did they? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I know in the past, and I know for 71 there is a 383 22-inch radiator. I know that because I have them in stock. I don't know why this car got a 26-inch. I don't know if there's a heavy-duty package, a trailer tow package. Maybe that would have, gotten you that.
There's nothing on that tag that would tell me that.
It does call out for the 26.
It calls out the 26,
right?
But like you say, nothing like a towing package or something like that, which probably would have got a cooler with it, wouldn't it? Or no? Would it?
I would think so.
I would think something like that, like the Hemi's got that. Okay, look at over here on our firewall.
Yeah.
We got big problems with this car.
It's got rust.
The gentleman that sold it to me told me the exact same thing. He says, listen, that's a rusty car. It's an original car, but it's a rusty car. All right. So I bought it figuring, okay, worst case scenario, very, very worst case scenario. It's got a lot of parts on it, but it is a real life 71 Roadrunner.
And it's a numbers car too.
Have a hard time parting out a car like that.
No.
All right.
Well, let's walk around. Let's keep going.
So you got your L31 turn signal indicators, and if it had an air grabber, where would they be located?
It'd be on the fender if it had an air grabber.
On the 71 to 74 B bodies, right?
Air grabber 71 and 2.
Air grabber wasn't available in 73.
Right.
Okay. A lot of rot down here in the fenders. It's a 14-inch wheel rally car.
And they don't make these fenders.
Look at the side markers. Yeah. Remember when there was a time when you're getting pretty good money for those before they started remaking them?
And you want to hear something funny about those?
Yeah.
The side marker looks the same. This is one of the rare cars that a 2-door fender is different than a 4-door fender.
Right. Not all the
And-
cars were that way.
Right. And the side marker
Except they never
different
built a 4-door Roadrunner. He's referring to a satellite body, which is what it's built on.
is a different shape. It has a different contour to it.
Yeah.
One's flat and one's curved.
Yep.
They look very similar, but on the back, it'll say for R23 or for R43.
Oh, really? Oh, didn't know
That's how
that.
you
Yeah.
know for sure.
2-door, 4-door.
Right.
I'll be darned. VIN number's intact. We saw the fender tag. Bench seat, automatic on the column, pretty plain hamburger entry
Yeah,
level
pretty
stuff.
barren. Tack though, it's got the
But
tack.
it does have the N85 tack, and check out the rear speaker. So I don't know, that had to be an option. It's part of a radio group, is my guess.
You can get that on an AM radio, rear defrost, I say. Which
Oh, see, I didn't even notice the rear defrost.
I could
okay.
see that. I could see that for up north in Canada.
Yeah,
Production.
right. So look at the bottoms of the quarter panels. Doors are rotten.
That's
all the
rough.
way through. It's a really, really rough car. I love that a lot of the ornamentation. Did you happen to notice? Go look at the grille.
Okay.
I'm sure you already know, but
Oh, the bird head.
it's still there.
That is so cool.
That is the most awesome thing right there. I am Roadrunner, hear me roar. Look
You
at
know,
that.
Chrysler made for the dealerships for salesmen. They had cufflinks and tie clips just like that.
You
Yeah.
probably got some.
Yes.
Well, of course you do.
You know, it's cool on the back. It's got the blackout around the taillights.
It does, and it's still on there. Yeah, and I think all your RM cars in 71 had that. I don't think that was part of a decor package. I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I think the GTX got it in 71 too.
Right, but they had chrome bezel on the taillight.
Right. And then in 72, of course, you couldn't get a GTX all by itself. It was a Roadrunner with GTX package.
You know what's funny about the
all day long.
the taillights and the bumper? That's a 1-year only bumper.
That is a 1-year
The 72
bumper.
taillights are much larger.
Yep. Look the same, but they're much larger. Yeah. The rest of the car, if you look, again, the same similar rust that we have on the other side. Look at this here. You want to know about locations?
Yeah.
There's a
Well,
great, hard to argue with location.
It's been painted, and the decal is not in the right. I don't believe the decal's in the right place.
You're trying to.
I mean, look at the trunk. The decal's above the keyhole and should be over on the passenger side.
Yes, it should. Yes, it
So,
should.
and this decal is supposed to be in front
In
of
the center, I think, isn't it?
In front of the Roadrunner,
Yeah,
right?
because it's running and it has the runner
Yes.
left after
But
it.
it's
so.
weird though, in 72, they brought it down over this way.
And by the
bu-
way, just out of curiosity, do you know what roofs this fits? That's the same roof on all the B-body, 71 to 74.
71 to 4.
Yep.
So is the windshield. This windshield, I believe,
Windshield is too.
even goes up to Cordovas.
Oh, into 75, 76?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. The next platform. Okay, last car, 1970 JS23 U0B car. LA.
Los Angeles.
LA, yeah, getting the kid on that one. Is it worth restoring? This is a Graveyard Motors new acquisition. Is it worth restoring, or do we sell it as is?
Well,
Let's take a look at the car.
I can see right away that it's not rusty like the other cars.
No, honest, Tony, this is a really nice car. I don't know why they put, California car.
California car, that's a good.
Yep. From what I can tell, original sheet metal on it. I was looking at the hood the other day. You see no crush ribs.
Right.
While it's still a different color, it's at least a 70.
And this is an early car, I believe. What's the?
How would you know that?
By the VIN number, it looked like it was an early VIN.
You're the devil.
That weird,
Yeah, well,
that weird LA font.
December, that weird LA font. December 4th.
Okay, so it's early for the hood because the
Yeah.
hood wasn't technically supposed to come in until January 1st.
They started putting the crush zones.
That's when the hood started getting made with the crush zones. But I have a February original paint car that still doesn't have the crush zones.
So they weren't getting put on right.
They hadn't gotten installed.
Not religiously. It was a rolling change too, right?
Of course, yeah.
Take a good look underneath this thing. True H51 car, so you got air conditioning. It's good colors, plum crazy. And just take a really good look under here. You got the fender tag, which is a lot of times is gone. I did check the engine. I did check the transmission when I first got it in. They are all numbers. The rest of the stuff underneath here looks correct. Tie bar numbers,
I think
cal
the radiator's
numbers.
been changed. The radiator has been
It's
changed.
a 27, yeah. Should be, let's see, 440 with air conditioning, 2998, 961, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Same as the 70 Super Big we just looked at. But you know what's nice about this? And are you done? You know what's nice about this? And you know this better than me from all the e-bodies. They're always bubbly and rusty in front.
Oh,
of
they
you.
are.
Look
They're
at this. Look at that.
But that's at California. I'm telling you, it's dry. Yeah, that's beautiful. This is a gorgeous car.
And see the cowls are blacked out. See
Right.
the black overspray
Yep,
coming
there
over
it is
here?
right
Look at
there. Nice. It's very soft on that edge. A lot of people get crazy and they have like a hard line here. It wasn't a hard line. I think a gun probably came across it like that, and whatever fell over the edge fell over the edge. I don't think it was that intentional. Yep. And then they dropped that in 71, right?
Yeah.
They didn't black out the cowls in 71.
And these are the correct original fenders without
they
the
are
cutouts?
Without the notch. And the notch doesn't automatically mean it's a 71. It could have also been a service part.
Right. Well, really, they weren't done for the 71 model year. That was a change in production for the 72. The cutouts for a 72 grill.
Oh.
For the header panel.
The side marker
for the header
71?
No, but this part of the fender, because the fender is a few different parts, they started using these on the later 71 fenders.
I got you. Take a look, even at this, without any hands on this thing at all, the original 15.7 wheels.
Wow.
Look at that.
Nice.
What's the date code on those? Is that 8/12?
8/12, August. Yes,
August 12th of 69?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Look at the floors, look at that dash. AM 8-track, very cool. Again, of course, all Challenger RTs are rally dashes.
Yeah,
6-way seat. If I could buy these every single day, because, you know, good business practice not to share or anything. Let's just say Daddy bought it right? That's the perfect used car. The perfect used car.
No or
Dual
minimal
exhaust
rot.
tips for a California car, because it could have just easily have not been.
But you know what's odd? It does have the California emissions tube on the right side in the fender well.
So it shouldn't have had the tips, right? Or I guess, I don't know if that's an absolute, I don't know. Looks like all the original tinted glasses in it. Might even be the original tinted windshield. I would say that it is.
Yeah, AC cars would have tinted glass.
Yep, absolutely standard.
70 Challenger only dash pad with the hard stitching on it.
Yep.
And the emblem embossed on the dash.
Yep. Look at the condition of the seat, like the back seat. I think the front one may have had some work on it, but
oh yeah, look at that.
But that back one's just really nice.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Sunburnt from the back, but
right.
All the bows, look at the headliner boards that are usually warped and wet and garbage.
See, here's an example of a car that was stored properly, though.
Right.
And that's the difference. That car could have looked as nice as this
exactly
if it was kept better.
Yep.
And that's the shame of it.
The only detriment the rusty cars have that we've looked at is they were Midwest cars. So even if they were stored properly, the bottoms of it probably, after this many years of that salt setting in there, would have had.
Not if they were stored properly.
Well, you mean washed and cleaned before they were put in?
Yeah, because that's set for a number of years. That didn't happen from driving.
No, that
was left outside.
Well, I think all this rot down here isn't from setting. I think it was put there and the car was never washed again. Where normally you'd wash a car if these cars just sat and they got.
But obviously the roof problems happen from sitting.
Right, that's a sitter. Yeah. For a used car, if 10's the perfect used car, the perfect buy.
Used car, a core car, right?
A core car to rebuild and to restore, it's up there.
It's up there. If it was a Hemi or six-pack, it'd be better.
Of course, yeah.
But a stick would be the only thing better, but then you'd lose the air conditioning.
You'd lose the air conditioning, that's right.
There's a give and take on that.
Yep. What a gem.
Because 444 barrels, or 440s weren't, 4-speeds weren't available with the air conditioning.
Nope. 444 barrel, 446 barrel with or without an automatic or a stick, wouldn't matter.
Yeah, 440 stick.
And Hemi the same thing, couldn't get H51. So it's the kind of stuff we do.
No,
no, I loved it. When I got the call, I thought that's the car right there. That's a perfect one. He took 2 or 3 pictures of it, sent him the money, sent Mike down and grabbed it. And you can see why.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Not hot rodded, not dinked around. I mean, original wheels.
Is this car warrant the Graveyard Carz restoration?
With the assessments complete, Mark and Tony weigh in with their verdicts. Are these cars worth the cost of a full Graveyard Carz restoration?
Do you restore this car? Do you not restore this car?
The pluses to the car, it's pretty original, good color, nice options.
Numbers.
But it's a rusty car. It's hard to get parts for. It's only a 383. So that was hard.
You don't discount. Numbers don't discount, right?
Nope.
Plumb crazy.
Right.
Great color combinations.
Dollars and cents wise.
Dollars and cents.
Dollars and cents wise.
Certainly.
It wouldn't make sense.
It's not as desirable as a 440, so it doesn't command the same cash, right?
Right. A 6-pack or Hemi, we'd be having a different conversation.
Okay, let me stop you there because I know how you are. I know what's pumping inside that chest of yours, and it ain't much of a heart. So what are you saying? You're East Coast, you crush everything you don't like, What are you doing? You popping this old girl in the head? Is that what you're doing? You kilting it, man?
I wouldn't restore it if it was mine. I would rather just find a done one if I like this kind of car.
But what would you do with this one then?
I would let.
No, go ahead.
Well,
we're all big.
I wouldn't really. It's too cool to be scrapped, but it couldn't go to a restoration shop to get that. It couldn't absorb that cost.
You got a 1970 Roadrunner convertible, correct? Mm-hmm. You've had it since high school?
Yeah.
If I were to own that car right now and I were to put it on a, say, eBay and represent it honestly and straightforward, how much money do you believe I would get for that car? True story. I know the number in my mind.
It's in the 50s.
Yep.
Pretty well into the
I was going
50s.
to put
Nice
50
color.
grand on that car. This lady, this sweet gal who sent this car to Graveyard Cars to have a sprinkle or pixie dust on it and bring it back to life, not unlike Lazarus from the tomb, right? I know you're not a biblical guy. Another question for you. How much would you take for it right now?
It's not for sale. You could offer me
No,
any
I'll
car.
write you 100 grand. 150?
Fortunately, it doesn't matter.
Her daddy bought her this car for her 16th birthday, and she's had it her entire life. It is what it is, right? Some people don't give a crap, crush the car, get rid of it.
Yep.
But you just said it right there yourself. I mean, that car's not for sale, right?
Nope. You can't put a price on it.
So is she justified in spending the money it took when it's an emotional attachment?
Yep, absolutely. There.
What do? Stalin, you kick her guts in, say too bad you lose your car?
There's a point there.
All right. Think about that. That one hurt you a little. That one stung, didn't it? That was a zinger.
Yeah.
That was a zinger because it had some teeth.
You got me. There's something to that.
No heart in there. You know me. I zipped that thing over. Yeah, nothing in there. Ice cube. Next car up that we want to talk about is our 1971 Roadrunner. This is a 383 column shift automatic. It was built in Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Numbers match.
It is a numbers car.
Yep.
It is.
Tawny gold, which is, you could fancy it up by saying tawny gold, but it's still brown.
Yeah, it's a brown metallic.
It's a brown,
right?
you know.
Which, when it is fresh, it is a lot nicer and a lot more acceptable than it is in that state. It's very original, complete, not much change from the way it started life, right?
Nope, not hot rodded.
And a lot of stuff there. The downside, of course, to the stuff that is there is it's in pretty bad shape.
It's pretty rusty, pretty rusty.
Does Graveyard Motors go out of its way to try to sell this as a restored car? Let the owner make up the mind? Who do you think is going to buy this car and why?
I don't think, again, it's a 383 car no matter what you do.
Yep.
Obviously not a convertible being available, so
Right.
that's out of the picture. So it's a 383 column automatic Roadrunner.
My personal thought was I bought the car right. It's a great used car. It's something that can sit on the car lot. I don't know how hard I don't think I'd push anybody to restore the car and spend the money that it costs to do one here.
Here. Right.
Here. I would push them to bring it home if they have the ability to do it. I'm kind of with you almost on that.
Well, its strong points are it is original Roadrunner.
Yep.
It is numbers matching.
Yep.
The weak points are the excessive rust and the lack of parts availability. So due to those items, I don't think it's a candidate for a GYC restoration, but I think it should be restored. And I think somebody could buy the car that has the skills and has time, and they could do a lot of the work themselves, or go to a local body shop and just have them do the work that they can't do maybe, and do it as a slow backyard, family, father-son type project without having to go to one of the big shops.
Here's the thing again, you're a cold-blooded, heartless killing machine. You don't care.
On the car?
You're a dream stomper.
The car should get done.
You
not
walk out
part
with
it
great big waffle stompers and you stomp people's dreams, man. You're a dream buster. I'm a dream maker. I'm a dream weaver. They wrote that song about me in the 70s. Oh, dream weaver. The backyard guy could tear it apart. I say backyard not to be disparaging.
Sure.
The guy's working at home out of his garage with a little shop set up. He could disassemble the car. He can inventory it. He can go through his engine and his drivetrain, but at some point, it's got to go to the shop, and that's where I'm afraid he's going to spend some money.
Well, it can go to a shop to do the metal repair, and then he could take it from there.
My point is, if somebody calls me up and says, hey, when I was in high school, I had a 1971 Roadrunner. I'd love to have another one. Well, tell me about it. Tell me about your car. Oh man, what was that weird color, that root beer brown? Like burnt orange? No, there was another name for it. Tawny Gold? Yeah, it was Tawny Gold. 383 automatic. I happen to have one very much like that right now. No, you don't. Yes, I do. I can do this conversation both. I can play both characters. Anyway, the point is, if he really had that car and it was a real life Tawny Gold car, I would probably support him in his decision because it's one of the opportunities to relive his youth. So again, the sentimental thing, right?
Right.
And if he didn't have the ability to do it at home, I might discount it a little bit to help him make his dreams come true. Because again, I'm what? Go ahead and shoot it right out.
The heart.
Yeah, boom, boom, Dreamweaver, right? Okay, you say probably home build,
Right.
sell as is.
Yeah, if you can get it running, that's a plus.
You
Dreamweaver's
walk
the
in,
heart.
say you're an idiot, slap him upside the head with one of those great big Philly sandwiches you eat.
No, you got it wrong. I suggested that the regular guy restore the car, not come to a high dollar shop. He could do most of the work himself. He might have to sub out some of it,
Sure.
but
Yeah.
that way it could be a home project. That's a lot of heart in that.
So I'll pose one last question to you, and this is just, again, I like your feedback on stuff, all right? That car's completely restored. Would you drive the car, or would you just turn you off?
The color just isn't my cup of tea. The
You're
cars I
a
have,
bubblegum guy.
you know.
You want poppy bubblegum, bright colors.
And
stuff,
the
right?
nice thing about the car is, since the value is somewhat limited, if you change the color to a red, yellow, or purple,
Like that pop music stuff, like pop
You
music
may-
by M Factor.
you may lose some people that would be interested in the car
Happy
if you want to
songs.
sell it, but it also may open the door to a
Magic
lot of other
songs.
people that doesn't care if it's not if it's
Partridge
the
Family stuff,
color matching.
right?
Yeah, like
I think I love you, and what am I so worth? Not like that, not. Just give me an example of, oh, whatever, you bug-eyed. Can we go on to the last car?
sure.
That would be great. Is this car warrant the Graveyard Cars restoration? 440 Magnum, 375 horsepower, H51 car, right? Mink condition, right?
It's there. You know, now this is your calling, the used car guy. You need a big rocking chair.
Yep.
You're
The
sitting on the
Jerry's
side of the road.
Cherries. Hop off the big chair. What can I get for you? Get me some polyester outfit.
You know I'm not going to give you a whole line.
Right. Automatic on the column. Very rare. Very unusual.
Yeah, that's not really the best thing though, to have automatic on the column.
No, it's not the best thing.
You know, slapstick. You know,
Yeah.
4-speed. You know.
Okay. So you say build it.
Yeah.
That in
It's
number.
no body panel replacement. I mean, that saves a bunch there.
It's a no excuses car.
Right.
It just isn't a super car. It isn't a Hemi and it
No,
isn't a
but
six pack.
it's
But it's a
440.
pretty dadgum nice one.
I mean, it's not a 383, it's not a 340,
No,
it's a 440.
right.
Which, honestly, for a car to own and drive,
444
we know the
barrel all
six-pack
day
sexy.
long. Yeah,
We know the
sexy.
Hemi's sexy.
Yep.
But you know this is going to stay in tune forever.
Check it out. Rally Dash.
It's standard on RTs.
Yeah, you see it. I spoon fed him that one. All right. 6-way seat, is that standard?
No.
No. How about rust? Is that standard? Because it ain't got none. I guess it got rust delete. What's the option?
Right. There's a little
R6,
bit.
8.
There's a little bit.
Well, I don't know. Why? The only thing I was missing when I bought that Challenger was a gun and a mask. Stole it. You know what I'm saying? Stamp the back and deposit it. That's money in the bank. Huh? You'd have to agree. It's an amazing car. It's a great used car project.
It's okay.
All I'm saying is I think that car could support an awful healthy restoration.
Well, you know, depends on the customer and how healthy the cost is, you know?
What are you doing?
It's, you know, it's...
I see you coming a mile away.
it's-
That's the thing about it. He did this once to me before. Go ahead, tell him.
It's a good car. You know, I'm not saying it's
It
a
was a great
bad car.
car
And
20
you
minutes ago,
know,
but it's a good car now.
you know, I sold the Superbird,
Now, here we go.
and you know,
Yeah.
Cindy was disappointed because she enjoyed the car.
Like the train you hear coming around the bend. You can hear the whistle. You know it's
And,
coming. It's
well,
getting
what-
louder.
You think you know?
Yeah.
and
You're putting the car
I was-
down. There's only one reason you put the car
I
down.
was
Son of
I was just tossing an idea around that maybe I would buy that car from you.
I'm buried in it. And the only thing I was missing when I bought that Challenger was a gun and a mask. Stole it.
It's there.
You know what I'm saying? Stamp the back and deposit it. That's money in the bank.
The Challenger.
Yeah. I'm
Because a little
upside
while
down
ago
in
you
it.
got a great deal on it, making faces, jumping up and down, and
Huh? It's relative, man.
You got it right.
It's like is the glass half full? You know, it's like that.
Oh, it was-
Because I can show you a pie chart where.
No, it wasn't in the middle. It was like a good deal you
Yeah,
got.
no, I'm upside
You were in
down.
it right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got, you know, got its problems.
It's an original. Yeah, you came into it with a straight face.
Well,
Numbers up the crap shack. 375 horse, 440 Magnum, automatic on the column. Very desirable.
it doesn't have all the extra molding
Nobody wants a
packages.
slapstick. That's where you put a bench seat in that thing, and that's it. And you got your chick there, man. What's wrong with you? That's cool stuff, man. That's a deal closing car. Even you could get the action in that car.
They
You know
call
what I'm saying?
you know what they call the bench seat? The high
I know what I called it.
option.
That's a shame. What's that mean? What the hell is that? Do we got to bleep that?
Yeah.
Son of a.
Just in case your short-term memory is as foggy as Royals, here's what Tony and Mark concluded. The 1970 Super B 383 Magnum didn't win over Tony on cost versus rarity, but when Mark told him the owner's father gave her the car when she was 16, he agreed that the cost of the restoration was worth every penny. A miracle happened with the 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner 383, when Mark and Tony both agreed that this car would not be worth the cost of a professional restoration, but instead serve as the perfect vehicle for a Mopar fan's backyard resto project. And wonders never cease in the graveyard. Mark and Tony agreed again on the 1970 Dodge Challenger RT 440 Magnum. With this zero rust California car, restoration is a no-brainer. In addition, the combination of a big block, automatic transmission, and air conditioning makes this a very desirable driver. So desirable that Tony offered to buy the car from Mark for his wife Cindy. But will Tony's offer be accepted by Mark, the dream maker, or cut down by the Iceman?
Between you and me, he's nuts. Right? I see him coming a mile away. All right, we're out back. His eyes are great big like an owl. As soon as he spotted that car, he went berserk. I'm not stupid. I know what he's doing. That's why I played it up and got him into the game out there. You know, this ain't my first rodeo. You might pull that stuff back there in Delaware and the East Coast, but you're in Oregon. You know what I'm saying? Do you? Yeah. Yeah. Tony, what can I say, brother? Thank you for coming out. Always great to see you, man.
Good, yeah.
Always. You need to get out more. Oh, hi. It's great.
Well, I
to
get
meet
sold out
you.
quick.
Well, yeah, you did. Well, I'm always going to do that. You need to buy a house out here and travel back and forth. You're rich. You're rich. Why? Why do you want this car?
I think, well, I know Cindy likes it. She likes purple. She likes Challengers. It's going to perform very similar to the Superbird.
Cindy is awful sweet.
You know.
Do it. Yeah. I'd love to see you guys out here. We need help.
That's
We
good
do
time.
that used
I always
car
enjoy
lot.
it.
I'm going to need a lot of help.
It's always too short when I'm out here.
It is.
Yeah,
I know. Time flies.
Yeah, that's good.
You're talking about a $200,000 car done.
No, you don't have any Hemi Challengers here.
No, I don't.
You know.
I have a mint condition, irreplaceable mink. Yeah, my friend Andy Crandall used to call it mink. I'd say it's mint. He'd go, no, it's mink. All right. You also should say Papa Willie. I go, wheelie. Yeah, nah, it's a willie. The willie around here is totally, boop, get in trouble with that. Well, thanks again for everything. Have a safe trip back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's always great to see
Talk to you
Nice
soon.
to see you
Take
face to
care.
face, darling.
Thank you, you too.
All right. Dream maker.